Awakening can feel very chaotic, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of rabbit holes, a lot of pain, a lot of times where you feel like you're floating up in the clouds or you're off in another world and no one can access you and you're suffering pain and you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole and you're like, what's the point of all this? I don't even get it. I just want to feel love. Why do I have to go through this hell, the dark nights of the soul, all of that? And recently I've felt that it's often like playing a game of hide and seek with yourself. And I'm back in New York, visiting family. I live in Arizona. I've been gone from here for a while, but you come back and you realize a certain neutrality or detachment from issues and people that would get you very charged before or triggered, and you realize, oh, I healed that, or I'm detached from that, or I'm kind of it's at arm's length. It doesn't affect me the way it used to. The old triggers. And I have the urge to apologize to a lot of people because when I was going through everything I've been going through in my life and on this healing path, it's almost like, from one perspective, it's this kind of just extreme self-obsession. Like it's kind of like awakening requires that much. It requires that much commitment and dedication, but I think I'm someone who's prone to like a certain stubbornness or narrow-mindedness or like singleness. Like I want a single point of focus, and it can become almost neurotic and obsessive. And I started on this path probably most intensely like 8 or so years ago, and I almost saw it as like a competitive thing of like, I need to find God, I need to find the reason for existence, I need to find my purpose. And it became kind of like an ego trip somewhere along the way. But I mean, I've tried to be as compassionate as I can, but I really did need that time away from the world. And I think it's strange because you go through so many identity transformations, and your identity or ego is just exploded and shattered into a billion little pieces basically every other week. When you're on the awakening path, you're here on a mission. Your soul, the point of origin of your soul is not here. It's not in this matrix. It's not in this reality, hologram, simulation, whatever you want to call it. But being home and seeing old friends and stuff, it's making me have this just intense nostalgia and like looping and closing up a cycle. Like, wow, I can finally let this go. I can finally forgive this, or have more peace and calm with parents and siblings. And I do feel that urge, like, wow, I feel sad for all the times that I pushed people away when, and I've been playing with this idea of like, is this my own personal reality dream? Is it my creation? And did I just cast all the characters, the villains and the heroes and the chaos, and did we all create a collective dream? And if you work on your personal reality dream, does then that make ripples to affect the entire collective reality dream? Because are all of us projecting the unhealed and unseen parts of our own psyches and our own shadows and our own unhealed inner children? So I just have this, and it's like coming back up for air. It's like coming back up to the surface after many years, just riding these massive tidal waves and like flying through the ethers and, spiritual war, etc. Since about 2020, it's felt very, very intense, just a very different world. And now I have this feeling like, oh, all right, I kind of understand this like New York City matrix. Like, I'm kind of just checking it off like a box. Like, okay, I'm healing that. I'm healing this family thing. I can like let this massive weight off my soul. It's not mine to carry anymore. Like, I understand, the breaking generational curses in the bloodline, liberating yourself of the chains and the shackles. But it's just one story. It's really just one story of many when you see it that way, and you're like, oh, you know what? I was so bent out of shape about what my parents couldn't do and how they hurt me or how they, traumatized me emotionally, but I really didn't see all these amazing things that they did, and they were really doing their best. And I'm so lucky to be born into this family, like of all the places you can be born, of all the people you can be born to, it could be a lot worse, just considering the way parents are and the abuse that some people do endure, or grow up with one parent or no parents. I mean, I'm pretty lucky there, really. And if you really just think of it like, it's kind of like a landing pad. It's like your landing pad coming onto Earth. Because if you already kind of feel very alien to the world, like you don't really relate to most people. And another way to say that would be like, you don't really speak the same love language as most people, or you feel like they can't really, a lot of people can only see like 10 or 20% of you, and it's not that I'm going around expecting in everyone, I need you to see all of me, I need you to like understand my deepest, darkest, whatever. I've let go of that a bit. It's more just like, all right, they're all aspects of God. I mean, I'm in my personal reality dream. We're in the collective reality dream. Like, I think I'm just realizing like, this like silly kind of like, what was I doing all this time? I got too immersed in the awakening. Like I got too immersed where I turned people against me. I made them my enemy when I should have seen it as chess pieces on a chessboard. Family, like so-called adversaries, attacks of various kinds. It's all serving you. It's all serving you, and there's nothing that cannot be transmuted into deeper power, deeper love. Lovers, romantic partners, so a lot of you have, you've been through hell with that. Like it's like an initiation. And I think I've needed that time to really recover. I mean, because my heart has been through a lot the last few years, and maybe you do too. And I would just like to say, you're not crazy if you feel like I just need like a 2-year vacation from humans, period. I want to just go be in a cabin in the woods, like maybe talk to a couple neighbors, a couple good people. I just really want to find my family again, like the ones that we signed up to be with. And I think that's like, if you're drawn to me or you feel resonance in my words, I would bet that you have a similar kind of drive. Like, part of my mission is to help give voice to those people that have felt silenced or felt crazy or like outsiders, like on a specific and different energetic signature, and if you're listening to this, that's probably part of your mission too. Like we're speaking up, getting out there, pulsing our radio signal into the universe to unite our soul family, to unite those of a similar mission. It's like, all right, all this is fine and great, like the matrix, the blah blah blah, the make money, the this, the that, or I'm gonna be the best, I'm gonna make the most money, I'm gonna win the race, I'm gonna all those like type A, very American rat race values. You can have that, it's good to be driven and motivated, but you're kind of driven by something different, which is more like real love. Like, I want to awaken the spark in myself, I want to awaken the God spark in others, because they're worth far more than just $1 million. So what's the prize? It's shining in your true authenticity, God singing and speaking and expressing through you. There's nothing more beautiful, and there's nothing more magnetic in the world, really. Think about it. People that do that, many people are drawn to them because they want to be able to access the God within themselves. So where am I going with this? It's like I had to play hide and go seek and be a bit self-important and like take a lot of my anger out on a lot of people, probably for many more years than I should have. and be in my like isolated, building walls and of anger and kind of being in unforgiveness and hardening my heart in a way. And I feel bad. I feel sad for myself that I've done that and that I've burned bridges that I probably can't repair in some cases, that just, you wish you could go back in time. You wish you could have the composure in that conversation where tensions were running high, or you're having a disagreement and like you just said something mean, or the person blocked you or said, we're done, I'm not talking to you ever again, or a friend or a lover or whatever it is. And I just wish I could have compassion and have that distance in those moments. Like I just wish I would have. And it's painful. You do have to learn through pain that, man, I really didn't want to lose that person. Like I was prideful. I was just saying dumb things because I wanted to exert my ego. And then I just wish I had more of an understanding looking back of like, all right, this is my personal reality dream. That's your personal reality dream. We can meet in the middle somewhere. Like, you don't have to agree with everything I agree with. Like, you don't have to have the same conception of God. You don't have to see 1,000% of Peter and get every teeny tiny inch of all my inner workings. Like, I understand it's an absurd thing for me to require, and I wish I had more patience with those people that, hurt me in certain ways, that I could have forgiven and worked with them and believed in their capacity to change and grow and come along, just like I would want them to be able to believe in my capacity to change and progress and become open my heart again and mature, really. I think the last 6 years in Sedona in Arizona, which is this highly charged land that always felt like home when I arrived there, like from the first minute. For me, it was a lot about just growing up. Literally, I had to grow up. So it was like a return to childhood in a way, being in Sedona, in the Red Rocks. It's kind of like this protective love bubble, as it's been called, by me and others. But I'm getting a little too comfortable there. And I miss the green of New York. I miss like the life of the leaves and there's just something about it. I miss the ocean and the green. The desert gets a bit rough at times. The air is different too, just more moisture in the air. Like it's just different consciousness. But I needed to return to childhood in the sense that I had a bunch of fated soul family member meetings, some that were very karmic and chaotic and like destructive in the sense that like it was a lot of work and initiations, and I had to look at a lot of my shadow and a lot of my blockages, and just somewhere I was like, on random days I'll just be driving to the creek or going on a hike in Sedona, like, wow, this is just, I just cry tears of gratitude, like, wow, I finally made it home. Like, this is heaven to me. I'm driving, I'm going for a run, jumping in the creek, being in the beautiful Red Rocks, hiking up to the top of a mountain or whatever, being in Arizona by Flagstaff, by the Grand Canyon, like just this feeling of like, this is my real home. Like I belong to this land. I love it so much. Like the land like loved me and nurtured me. And so in that way, I was like returning to childhood, because I never felt, even though I was born in New York, I never felt part of New York. I never felt part of my family, So in one way, it was like a return to the innocence in childhood. And another way, it's like, oh, Sedona just brought up all my old childish patterns of like, you need to grow up, Peter. Like, these are your blockages. But so summarizing more, this healing of my own heart and seeing people and having more grace with people, healing my own heart, has allowed me to see the pain of others' hearts and give them more grace and gratitude, not be stubborn, not take out all my anger, because I had a lot of anger at the world, from feeling abandoned and not part of my family, and then like a repeating cycle of friends and lovers. Like, I'm an intense person. I could acknowledge that. Like, I'm pretty intense, just in general. So I would demand a lot of people and just be stubborn and, I need this and you're not doing that, But now I understand, it's like every person in your life, you have a special relationship, and everyone has their strengths, everyone has their weaknesses. You have certain friends that you connect on specific things and areas, and then other things you don't. Like, I definitely have my strengths and weaknesses, I can be a real downer. I can be very depressed. I can go into those holes, But I feel like I can also intensely be there for someone and with someone, and like just tune in to their world and hold space for them as an act of love. And like, I do really good in that one-on-one. And yeah, so tending to my personal reality dream, tending it like a garden, realizing that everyone has a right to their personal reality dream, even if I don't believe, okay, maybe they're not really meant to awaken to all the stuff and all the internal stuff. It's just a funny feeling, because if you spent so many years like down in the underworld, up in the ethers, just like, it feels like you lived a million lifetimes in one lifetime awakening, but then you like come more into the, you've been through a million deaths, rebirths, metamorphoses, and then you come back, you come back home, visit, family or whoever, and you feel like they were just doing their thing. They didn't change that much. They don't understand all this stuff. They never really ventured into those worlds. And you feel like, man, did I just imagine all that? What happened? Like, was any of that even real? Because now I'm just back to like, okay, I'm like a normal, healthy Pete again. And I'm like able to rejoin the world after like, 7-8 years of this just really intense initiations and being off in Arizona and whatever. And it's like, all right, and I kind of like wanted everyone to see and understand every part of my path, but it's like, it's okay. Like, just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the fact that I chose a personal reality dream that is what it is and has a certain layers and depth and complexity, and I wanted to come into this human form to do that, and my family and whoever else, and they're allowed to have their dream. But it's like when you can return and bring that power back to yourself and being like, wow, like I truly, because this can take a long time and you can't fake it. You can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to God. You can't lie to the universe. When you're still pissed, you're still pissed. And I was for years and years. But when you really heal, when you really let it off your heart, God, the world, everyone around you can feel it. And it's just a massive vibrational difference, because your energy actually opens again. Your heart actually opens again. Like if someone broke your heart in romantic matters, like, and you just lost trust in the world, you were angry and closed, and you didn't even just lost faith completely in love. Like a lot of us have been there, where you just feel so broken and like, I'll never have that and whatever. So it's the faith of empowering yourself, like, oh no, I'm in the driver's seat. I have the privilege of turning this reality dream around, this creation. I am much more of a creator than I think. Oh, like I rooted and dug out all this nasty crap in my subconscious, but how long was that actually driving the ship? It's like, oh man, like that's really hard to see. That's really hard to see, because you're like, how many years was I paralyzing myself and walking through the mud of my own crap and shooting myself in the foot because I had my own subconscious blockages that I was projecting on other people. And when you can release that and be like, yeah, no one's perfect, but like I have a lot of my crap too, and maybe I can just to admit it and stop being so stubborn and thinking you're so perfect, and like, all right, it's okay. Like I did sabotage myself a lot. I did push people away. I did burn bridges. I did these stupid things that like break my heart and have broken other people's hearts. And I think God tasked me with that, using my words, my tongue, definitely in this lifetime, to be a communicator, relaying messages, expressing emotions. Like that's part of my purpose. But like they say, the tongue can be used as a sword, and it's like, will you use it to harm, or will you use it to speak life into people and speak love into people? And I just wish I had more, a full respect and understanding of the gravity and of my own words and my own impact on people, just because I was suffering a lot and I was taking a lot of pain out on other people, and I wish I could get a do-over. And you can't, but you can just carry that forward and be like, all right, I'm going to treat what is in front of me and the people in the future that I meet and the loved ones that with sacredness and love and respect, and not try to jam all my beliefs down their throat, but just love them where they're at, see the aspect of God inside them, try to pull it out of them by witnessing the God inside of them, but not needing them to be in the same personal reality, because no matter which way you slice it, we're all in our own personal reality dream. And then it combines to make ripples with the collective reality. But all right, I'm kind of going around here, but I just understand the sacredness of more. I think have more of a distance where I understand I realize I'm not as important as I think, but I'm also I'm nothing, but I'm also everything. I'm super important and I'm a miracle, but I'm not more important than anyone else. I'm not more of a miracle than anyone else, and it's just we get to be here, and I can't figure all this out. The world can feel totally crazy at times, but I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to connect every day. I'm trying to put myself out there more every day, trying to open my heart every day, even when you feel in pain, even when the internalized parental voice or those negative thoughts are just pounding down on you, no, get out, connect. There's a heavy tide, a heavy mud in the world, but you're going to connect again. Muscle memory. Reach out, connect hearts, because I got sick of isolating too. It was damaging, and everyone's suffering. Everyone deals with self-defeating thoughts. So I just hope that we will all empower ourselves and realize how much we can change ourselves and others, and then be compassionate to everyone here, because it's just been a wild roller coaster ride, and I don't even know always what's real and what's not, because this world is just crazy. And when you're opening and psychically and your perceptions of the dimensions and all that multidimensionality, you just man, I don't even know what the hell this is. What is life? What is existence? Does it even matter? Okay, I can breathe, and I can touch the tree and the grass and jump in water, and I can love someone, and marry a woman someday and have children that I love, and whatever, right? We'll never have all the answers, but we're just here, so we might as well be here. Just figure it out as we go. All right. Have a good day. Thanks again.